Let's talk about Isaiah Evans. He is extremely talented, and there have been a number of guys at Duke who have come through the program in recent years who've been highly rated and then struggled to find consistent playing time. You go back to last year's team, you look at TJ Power and Sean Stewart. The year before that, you had Jaden Shute. You go back, even a bunch of years before that, you had a guy like Semi Ojale. Guys who, are talented but just haven't found a way on the court consistently for whatever reason it might be. There's a big difference, though, with Isaiah Evans compared to some of these other guys in Duke recent history. When he's been on the court, he has really performed. And we all know the game against Auburn was an absolute sensational performance by Isaiah Evans. He had 6 3-pointers, 18 points, all in the first half, and he came off the bench to do it in a game where he didn't even play in the big games that Duke had earlier on in the season. In losses to Kansas and Kentucky, he didn't play against Arizona. And Evans, a lot of Duke fans, myself included, were calling for him to play, but I don't think anybody could have expected that kind of outburst. And he had, a few more good performances in games since then. It's been up and down, in part because his minutes have been up and down. And Evans, depending on the amount of playing time he gets and his ability to find his rhythm, has had some really big games. You look back most recently, he had a really good performance against Boston College. He had 16 points against them, 4 3-pointers. He had another good game against Virginia Tech, where he had 4 3-pointers in that one. And he had a game 2 games after the Auburn game against Incarnate Word, where he also had 4 3-pointers. The point I'm making here is that Evans, at any given time, has the ability to go off. And the most minutes he's played in a game this year has been 20 or 21 minutes. All this is to say that whether it's at Duke next year, at another school next year, or, and this may surprise some people, but playing for an NBA team, but most likely the G League level next year, Evans is going to be in a better position for playing time at some point next season. I just don't know where it's going to be, and a lot depends on how this season ends. If it ends with Evans not getting very much playing time, and depending on who transfers into Duke and who leaves, he kind of sees that he's going to be in for a similar role. I think it's in his best interest to leave the program and go to a school, and there's a lot of them. I think the vast majority of schools Isaiah Evans would be playing in much more, he'd have a much more consistent role, and in probably over 80% of those schools in the country, he would be starting. I think that's even conservative. Then there's the chance that, on the flip side, depending on who's coming in, he still hasn't played very much, but he sees that, guys like Con Knipple, Cooper Flagg, maybe Proctor, we know Sion James isn't going to be back. He sees a path for playing time, and he sticks around for his sophomore year and has a big breakout sophomore season. And the last one, which I think most people aren't thinking is a possibility, but I do as of now, and it depends on how the year ends. But if he finds his way into a little bit more playing time, and in Duke's run in March, he has a big game, let's say in the Sweet 16, or if Duke is fortunate enough, the Elite 8, he is going to put himself on the board for a team to draft him late first round, early second round. And I know it's crazy to say for a guy who hasn't played very much, but the talent is so apparent that a team will take a chance on a guy like Isaiah Evans. So this is my mid-season, 3/4 of the way through the season update on Isaiah Evans, and I will be very curious. I am going to be probably surprised as to where he is, no matter what, at the end of this year, and it will be fun to look back on his season because he is just a spark plug scorer off the bench who's got clear NBA scoring potential, and it just depends on where his next step is going to be, whatever is the best for him next season. But for this year, it's been fun to watch him as that spark plug off the bench. And even though Duke's played really well, I still wish he could get a few more minutes. So let me know what you guys think about Mr. Evans, how you see the rest of this year and his future unfolding. And are there any other players you would like to see me cover as we're, about 2/3 of the way through the college basketball season? I'll see you guys next time. Peace.